We see the games that are being played. These dudes, Ellerby again, pretty much tell us that it was a done deal between Spence and Fundora, but we see today that management, they're even trying to dangle that carrot in front of everyone. And now they're here changing their minds and now talking about a rematch between them and Tim Tszyu. I think it's mostly due to the fact that people were calling this stuff out. We've seen this playbook before, and we see what it leads to. And once again, now they're here trying to save face and provide a little bit of damage control, uh, trying to have the rematch. Which, quite frankly, a lot of people were like, why would they not have a rematch? I guess it was released that they did have a rematch clause and that the fight was supposed to take place in Australia. Obviously, PBC probably didn't want to do that. And again, they were trying to set up Spence the whole time. The whole ducking Terrence Crawford out of the rematch clause and everything else. Plus, you had the WBO come out today and say that the only reason they sanctioned the fight because it was agreed upon that Terrence Crawford would have the next shot. So these people, they're pretty desperate. And this type of business practice, they're just bad people to deal with, as you can see. Um, it's funny because they used to always talk crap about other promoters, Oscar De La Hoya. Um, and you got to understand when Floyd had his most success with a guy like Oscar De La Hoya, whether people want to admit it or not. But even with Bob Arum, and you end up doing the same type of tactics, but you end up getting to a place where like you guys are kind of worse in how you deal with your own fighters, let alone the sport of boxing. And I just find that crazy. Hey, what's up? I'm just talking about this safe face tactic that they just pulled. Now they want to do the rematch between Tim Tszyu and Sebastian Fundora after enough people kind of called them out on their BS because people can see right through this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Um, but it's just funny. Enough people they called it out, and once again, they Ellerby he flat out said that the fight between Spence and Fundora was next. It's it's out there in the open. Now today we're talking about a rematch. So I think they heard enough backlash from the fans and things like that, and this is just a safe face tactic. What's up, everyone? Just talking about this nonsense. So you guys got anything to chime in? Let me know. You know what I'm saying? But again, it's pretty pathetic. And like I said, I think it's just a safe face damage control tactic now. WBO again, they came out that it was agreed that the only reason they sanctioned the fight in the first place is if Terrence Crawford was allowed to get his shot, which he should get the shot over Errol Spence. And now I'm also seeing that Errol Spence says that Crawford deserves it more. But you saw his energy on the night in the fight, just like you saw Ellerby's energy. He said that this fight's basically made. These guys are family. Uh, Basically, screw Terrence Crawford again. Same old playbook, same old things, same old schemes. Nothing new under the sun, as I always say on this channel. But anyhow, again, changing their song, changing their tactics. Now we're going to do a rematch. I wonder if they're still going to honor having the fight in Australia, if that is the case, or if Fundor does get the opportunity to say we're going to have this fight here. Although, from what I read, it was already said that the rematch would be in Australia if it was between Tim Tszyu. And now that I look back on it, Tim Tszyu did look like he was kind of dumbfounded, like what just happened here. You know what I'm saying? He didn't seem like he was all the way there. What's up, everyone, as you're coming in? I don't know how long I'm going to be on here. You know what I'm saying? It's a little late. It's like 8:30, but just calling out the BS. You guys got anything to chime in on? Let me know in the comment section, man. What's going on? Everyone that's coming in. But like I was saying, man, everybody saw this. Everybody started calling it out. The manager tried to come out and say that Spence is the, easier fight. You know, uh, Yeah, man. That's all that's ever going on. When is there ever not BS going on? You know what I'm saying? Especially in the sport of boxing. But you see all this back and forth, all this, bait and switch type tactics, and here we are again, wishy washy, going one direction and then going the next. You know, and like I said, I think the fans played a big part in this with everybody calling this BS out, and They do care. They monitor YouTube. They monitor people's opinions. Typically, I know for a fact that PBC would get people to push whatever narratives that they wanted them to push. You know what I'm saying? Especially here on YouTube. I could tell you guys a crazy story, although you wouldn't believe it, but I have the emails to prove it. That's all I'll say. You know what I'm saying? But they do listen to people and they do care about what people say on the internet. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of proof that backs this up. Spence was using YouTubers' talking points when promoting his fight between him and Terrence Crawford. He even took on the moniker "Eye Collector." He didn't make that up on himself. You know what I'm saying? That was YouTubers that were coming with that type of talk. So they do listen to the to YouTube. Their eyes are glued on it. They do see what's going on and they do see how people react. So this is them just trying to save face and do damage control, like I said. What's going on? What's going on, everybody? I don't know how long I'm going to make this video. You guys got anything you want to chime in on? Just let me know in the comment section. Know what I'm saying? Thank you for the likes. But we all saw it, and like I said, I know they monitor YouTube, and I'm telling you, they go further than what one would think. It's not conspiracy theory, and like I said, I do have emails to back some of this up. He did get his eye collected, and that's the irony of ironies about this. You know what I'm saying? There were plenty of ironies. He said he was going to make Terrence Crawford look like Kunta Kinte, and I mean, everything that he basically said they were going to do to Crawford literally happened to him. I've talked about this in so many videos. But now today they're trying to save face and they are backing off, although they seemed pretty sure Saturday night that this fight was going to happen between them and Spence. And like I said, I think the fans definitely caused them to backtrack and once again do damage control and that type of thing, save face tactics as they always do. Um, a guy like Crawford, it's funny because he's a guy, he doesn't really care how people portray him because he typically gets the blame no matter what, you know. And it was funny seeing the same fans throw a parade. It's, man, at this point, there's no reason to it. What's sad is with Errol Spence is that your best money option is still a rematch with Terrence Crawford. I don't care who you fight. Sure, a Canelo fight would override that, I guess. But as far as Sebastian Formella, Keith Thurman, whatever other option they've tried to dangle in front of Errol Spence's face, a rematch with Errol Spence would still be your best payday and things like that. So I mean, yeah, he's stalling his career, but at the same token, you know, we don't see you reenact or enact a rematch, duck out of the the rematch that you just enacted, come with some bullshit, some BS. You know what I'm saying? I almost cursed there, but actually I did curse there. But anyhow, you know, you want to fight Fundora. You're happy that he won the fight, this and that, and LRB and them were backing up that this fight's pretty much a done deal. You know what I'm saying? But then once all this stuff started happening, the fans and the WBO saying that, you know, hey, what's up, bro? You know, the only reason they sanctioned the fight because you guys agreed that Terrence Crawford was going to get a shot. You know, how many times can you guys, you know, play this type of trick bag stuff that you're doing? And again, where is it leading to? You know what I'm saying? And another thing, this as well, I read that what's his name did have a rematch clause and that the rematch was to be in Australia. The truth of the matter is this, whether people want to admit it or not, that fight would do better in Australia than it would here in the States. You know what I'm saying? Whichever way they want to destroy money going into their pocket, it seems like that's what they're willing to do to try to, you know, keep a sinking ship afloat. You know what I'm saying? Which I don't understand. Like, who's, you know, when you see those type of tactics and things like that, that type of foolishness, um, you know, there's something probably corrupt going on behind that organization or that type of game plan. It doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? I said in my last little video, Keith Thurman versus Tim Tszyu didn't make no sense to me. You know, like Keith hasn't been relevant for so long. It's I understand a lot of fans like to come out here and hear him talk and see him portray his character, but still, you don't have a home to call your own, just like a Sean Porter. You know what I'm saying? You've never been a big ticket seller or anything like that. So does this stuff really translate into exposure? You know, building your brand and things like that. It doesn't. You know. Manny Pacquiao was the guy that sold that pay per view because obviously Manny Pacquiao is a huge star. But Keith Thurman, um, like I said, you don't have a Florida home base that would pay to watch you. You know what I'm saying? You don't really bring nothing to the table other than theatrics and being an animated character. You know what I'm saying? You're not putting. But I didn't understand that fight. You know what I'm saying? It did make no sense to me. And then we see all this nonsense, dudes pulling out of fights and the same crap that we've been seeing. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, oh well, the fans aren't really digging this as we'd like them to. That's another thing I hate about today's boxing. It's not just the PBC when it comes to that. But UFC, they tend to make the fights that their fan base, their target audience, the people who actually, you know, go into their wallet and keep that organization running, they listen to those people. You know what I'm saying? And we see this even in the movie industry and things like that. You have a loyal fan base and a target audience, and typically the best thing to do is to give the fans what they want. These are the people that are going to pay money to see the product that they want. But boxing and just like all these other industries and platforms, they don't want to do that, and then they get mad when like you know what I'm saying. I ordered a burger, but you're trying to give me a fish sandwich like that. To people with common sense, that what did you expect to happen, and why are you traveling from network to network to network? You know what I'm saying? And you're trying to blame the fans, but the fans are the people, the customers are the people that you're trying to, get to buy your product. And why are you so against them? I've never understood that aspect, whether it came to boxing or whether it came to, these movie industries, these franchises and things like that that they're destroying. And UFC, they're like, okay, we see what matchups our customers want, so they provide their customers with what they want. You know what I'm saying? You would think that it's common sense, but it's not common sense anymore. So I mean, you got to tell these people literally, a square is not a square. I mean, a square is a square, circle is a circle, 1 + 1 = 2, and they just want to go against that. By all means necessary for whatever reasons, for reasons that don't make sense and don't even lead to money. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand it. So here we go again. That's all I can say, man. Um, it seems like they're still blocking the Terrence Crawford opportunity, though, and they may just drop the WBO belt, which is what everyone pretty much expected to begin with. Uh, doing the rematch does buy you time, but again, uh, is it really going to help out your company? I think Terrence Crawford brings more to the table, than Errol Spence or Tim Tszyu. That's just me. I don't think these guys on the internet who are now Boots fans are really going to go fly out to Dallas or whatever else to go pay these cheap seats. That's another thing people don't talk about, how Jerry Jones buys what's his name's tickets and things like that. It seems like everything's just a Ponzi scheme today. And again, a lot of fake it till you make it. This guy's a star, he's a big seller and all this stuff, but I don't think it translates at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? But that's pretty much it. Um, you guys got anything else you want to talk about? Let me know. I don't see myself being on here for too long tonight. Same old stuff, same old story, just a different day. That's pretty much it. Crawford, though, he does need to stay busy. He needs to get somebody in that ring, although he's been in the gym, still working hard. He's definitely ready for 154 pounds. I don't know what other avenues they could really give him. Someone did tell me, what's his name? That dude who's kind of like Lomachenko, kind of a generic version. I forgot his name, but I don't know if that fight draws any interest. Uh, they've thrown Ortiz out there as well. I don't know if at 154 pounds, pretty much, yep. It is a greasy sport, but I mean, it's not even typically when you do these type of moves, your goal is to, I would hope, make money. And these moves that they pull, it seems like they do this just to be too smart and deceptive for their own good. It's like Wile E. Coyote back in the day. These dudes pull all this nonsense for what? What is it really doing for you and your company? Uh, I mean, I think the smart money would be on Devin Haney, but styles make fights, and I don't know. We'll just see, man. I mean, Devin Haney should win, but Ryan Garcia, I don't know. They're over here talking about how he's knocking out sparring partners and things like this. He's not over here weight training like he was against the Gervonta Tank Davis. I thought he was doing somewhat well against Gervonta Tank Davis, although he was being a little too overly aggressive. Um, but he was obviously weight trained and things like that. He was compromised. And Devin Haney, we saw how fighting at those lower weights kind of affected him too. But once he put on more weight, he seemed more healthier. He's got more constitution. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I would put my money on Haney though. That's all I can say. From a stylistic standpoint, Haney is a superior fighter, higher boxing IQ and things like that. But we do see him get hit. Um, the Prograis fight, he was perfect in that fight. He showed maturity. He showed growth. Because typically, what he would like to do is fight hard every single round. He didn't know how to take rounds off. He was much more measured and, like I said, mature against Regis Prograis. My smart money's on Haney, but again, boxing, anything can happen. Yeah, this is like the third one now, though, so I don't know what's going on. And I know that he used to work in Canelo's thing, and I know those people do illegal things in that training camp. So there's a lot of factors that are at play here. I know that Devin Haney's been focused. He's not really been out here, but recently he has been associated with Duff Patty because you can't say his name anymore. They keep hitting my channel whenever I talk about him. So I'm just going to call him Duff Patty. Weird stuff like that. But again, your smart money's on Haney. But again, anything can happen in the sport of boxing. You know, you can't, you know, compare style matchups all the time. I'm sure some of it could be staged as well. I don't know. But like I said, there's only a few guys that I am confident in and that I truly put my money on. That's literally like one or two guys. You know what I'm saying? These other guys, you got to do a little bit more for me to be totally sure about you. So, and I know Ryan Garcia, he's mentally fragile and things like that. He's expressed that he has mental illness. We hear that what he's talking about. We also hear like, what's up, bro? What's going on? But again, anything can happen on any night. And it's not smart money would be on Haney, but I'm not going to put my money on this fight. You know what I'm saying? Who knows what goes on? You guys got anything you want to talk about? Let me know. I'm willing to stay on a little bit longer. But this was mainly to address the damage control and like the safe face tactics that PBC is now kind of employing right now. You know, again, as I expressed, they definitely watch YouTubers' channels and they just see how people are reacting to things. We'll see. Devin Haney also, he's finally developed a little bit more strength. It's not like crazy power, but still, it's power that is respected. Um, he does have a good jab, if not one of the best jabs in boxing. I was always a Haney fan. Um, and I knew he could, do very well, especially against guys like Lomachenko and things like that. And I used to catch crap from the Lomachenko fans. You know what I'm saying? Um, there's just a lot of factors in this fight. It's not something that I'm 100% sold on, man. And there's a lot of theater and crap going on today. So it'd be crazy. It would not shock me if Devin Haney loses or something stupid. You know what I'm saying? But smart money would be on Devin Haney. I mean, he clearly is the higher ring IQ, the more complete, better all around boxer and things like that. I'm doing fine, man. I'm doing fine. You know what I'm saying? I've already gone through like the hard part of the crap that I've been dealing with, so I'm still here. If that didn't get me, I'll just say that I shouldn't be here right now. But I appreciate it, man. Thank you. But that's what I'm saying too. I wasn't really too enthusiastic about a Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia fight. I really wasn't. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of matchups that I want to see today. They just don't want to make these fights. And there's a lot of fighters that I'm interested in seeing, but these guys are just sitting on the shelf somewhere. Yeah, they did. I think they saw the backlash that was being received and just the nonsense being called out. Dude, they're like, I mean, I'm sorry if I offend some of you on here, but they're like women, dude. They're always back and forth. You know, they're always wishy washy, uh, backstabbing, doing the same type of behavior. You know what I'm saying? I think they saw the reaction that was going on. That was part of it, but also the fact that WBO, they call them out. You guys wanted the fight sanctioned for whatever reason, and one of the things that you agreed on was that Terrence Crawford get a shot at the winner. You know what I'm saying? So you can't just go back on things like you've been doing, like getting Spence to pull out of a rematch and things like that. You know, PBC, it's a traveling grift, like I said, but eventually con artists, they get found out and they do finally get their just due. I've been saying this, man. He doesn't check the boxes, especially for a platform like PBC. Uh, Rolly Romero is better suited for what they want for the sport than a Terrence Crawford, which is crazy. But you know, I've said this before. Some people's Tupac is Takeshi 6ix9ine. You know what I'm saying? Crawford doesn't fit. Hey, what's up, bro? How you doing? Crawford just doesn't check the boxes that they value, man. And I'm trying to tell you, they create these dudes in the boardroom. You know what I'm saying? When they create Keith Thurman, you know, hey, we need you to be like this. You know, by the way, try to act like you're a hippie. You know what I'm saying? Speak on this type of stuff. And it's the same with Spence and all these other fighters, man. They're all animated characters, in my opinion. Broner, you know, they kind of fit more of that clown show atmosphere. And then if it's not like being an animated character or a certain type of archetype, because Spence, you know, I've said this plenty of times, is a suburb boy. We all know that, you know. But you're over here hanging out with these dudes that you shouldn't be hanging out with, and doing and being caught up in stupid stuff that you shouldn't be caught up in, you know. But then you have guys. They also like a Danny Garcia, for example, is a big, advertisement for mental illness and things like that. I think that they literally go over this stuff in the boardroom, and Crawford's just not one of those type of dudes. These guys, whenever Crawford doesn't say anything, they'll say he doesn't promote himself. But when he does talk, he's like the most controversial, offensive person on the internet. And even with his fight against Benavidez, that was the most viewed, but also like the most socially media searched fight. He's very, what's the word? Um, Polarizing. You know what I'm saying? But he's more of an authentic, I think, real guy compared to all these other dudes like a Thurman, who do a lot more promoting, and everybody else who are better at talking on a microphone and things like that. So he just doesn't fit in that type of environment. You know what I'm saying? And as I said, the boxing game is fake it till you make it today. And even YouTubers have been able to infiltrate the sport and make money. Plus, you have, you know, nostalgia type fights where we get to see guys like Roy Jones and, you know, whoever else fight each other. Tyson, you know, they're even making money off those type of tactics, you know, nostalgia type things like that. We got Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fighting here. So boxing, it's in a desperate state. Instead of doing what like the UFC does, it's rather to supply this type of spectacle clown show. You know what I'm saying? With a bunch of clowns. So Mike Tyson ain't a clown, but I'm just saying Jake Paul has a bigger audience than a lot of these dudes. You know, which is sad. And you have these promoters, and they're not even promoting the fighters, things like that. So they have to try to use tricks and gimmicks. You know, and they're more willing to put their eggs in the basket for a guy like Rolly Romero than a Terrence Crawford. It's just crazy to me. Like I said, there's some people today, their Tupac is Takeshi 6ix9ine, and that's just the world we live in today. That's all I can really say about that. You guys got anything else? Let me know. Yep, that was another thing that I think is his downfall, and HBO started implementing that as well. They would call it research, but they did the same thing, searching the trends and things like that. But it doesn't translate to a real audience. And we all saw what happened to their company as well. Same thing. And people, they're really betting on this type of stuff. You know, the fights are what's going to draw the people, the matchups. And if you make the sport a real sport again, not theatricality gimmicks and all this other nonsense, clown show, circus show type crap that they're trying to do. I've said this before, but Bivol has a perfect style to actually beat Peter Bev. And why that is the case is because he doesn't try to show off or nothing. Uh, he's a guy, you know, like a Roy Jones. You would say at some points of his career, he's 1, 2, 3, look good. Bivol, he don't care, man. He'll bore that audience. He'll do whatever, just to get that W. Um, I still got Beater Bev. I would put my money on Beater Bev because a lot of what I've been saying, a lot of these guys, they've forgotten about the hurt business aspect of the sport. And Beater Bev is a guy, even with his jab, as we saw in his last fight, even landing from short distances. We're talking about 6 to like a foot away from what's his name's face. He was still landing hard damaging blows from that type of distance. So he's obviously a strong dude, and he puts damage on his opponents. You know what I'm saying? Uh, it doesn't matter, just like we saw in the Bostic fight, who was up on the cards, on the majority of the judges' scorecards by the time of the stoppage. I think the damage eventually is going to set in on Bivol, but he's a highly underrated fighter. You know what I'm saying? He's got an underrated resume as well. He's got the experience and everything else. He does. I think he is probably the best guy who has the best chance to beat a Beater Bev, but I still got Beater Bev, if that makes sense. I think it kind of plays out similarly to the Bostic fight. What's his name will be getting, he'll be throwing combinations and things like that, but the guy who's actually doing the real damage, you know, and the true type of impactful shots, and it is going to catch up to Bivol. I think Peter Biv is going to have that edge, but it would not surprise me or shock me if Bivol can pull it off, you know what I'm saying? You guys got anything else, let me know. Ah, but my thing is this as well, you know, don't do a deal with the devil. That's all I can really say. Tim Tszyu kind of found that out. I'm sure he felt played after the fight. His mind was probably trying to wrap around all the stuff that just went on. I didn't know. It was first reported that there wasn't a rematch clause, but there was. So again, I'm sure him and his team, they were just maybe kind of flabbergasted after the fight, especially after that loss, and he just couldn't formulate everything because I thought it was weird. He didn't even want the rematch. You know what I'm saying? So, but now we're finding out all these details today. So the rematch was supposed to take place in Australia, but you know, it seems like they're using that card to kind of save face and detract from what they originally announced that they were going to do, which was a fight between Fundora and Errol Spence. And now we have even Errol Spence backtracking where he says Crawford does deserve it more or some crap. So they're all over the place, man. All over the place. You guys got anything else? I'm about to get off, man. It's been a long day. I got to go to work tomorrow, too. But I do appreciate you guys hopping on. I saw it somewhere, man. Uh, I I don't know if it was Goodfellas who posted it or someone else. I did see it though. It could have been Aki or someone. I don't know. It was a title. You know what I'm saying? I didn't watch the video though. It was something along the lines like Spence admits that Crawford deserves the fight more than he does, or something along those lines. But yeah, a lot of backtracking, a lot of nonsense going on. That's all I know. What else is new in the sport of boxing? They just can't remove the knife from their own back and stop shooting themselves in the leg, just make money. Just, you know what I'm saying? Instead of all this Wile Coyote, crazy plot schemes and everything else, dude, just be straight up. Get the fights made. You know what I'm saying? Not having these guys duck and act like they're injured and whatever else. You're doing all this extra stuff for no reason. I never understood it, man. Never understood it. It's becoming too much today, man. They're trying to implement reality TV, but with real boxing, I guess. Well, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna let you guys go, bro, and we can be on tomorrow, or whatever else. If I got more videos, hopefully we'll come out with them later, man. You guys have a good night. All right, we'll talk to you later. Bye.